Man United 3, Brighton 0. Dare I say we are back. What I can say is that Paul Pogba is a rare thing of beauty, artistry, skill, technique rolled into one. Bruno Fernandes, as I told you, was the best attacking midfield player in the league. And we'll go through that a bit later. Matic, shout out to you. That pass was out of this world. You dominated the central areas. Greenwood, Mason Van Persie, we know what he's all about. Another clean sheet. And that is now Man United unbeaten in 15 games, keeping 11 clean sheets and scoring 38 goals. Absolutely sensational by Manchester United. We're going to do some fan cams first, and we're going to open the lines to all of you. But Man United have been absolutely brilliant this evening. Again, the shape, the play, everything was there. We're going to jump into these fan cams, get the boys on, listen to what they're thinking, feeling, and saying, let's do this. Aaron, what's going on, bro? You must be buzzing after that victory, bro.
Yeah, man. Yo, another 3 goals, another clean sheet. Unbeaten in how many games did you say? I forgot it.
Unbeaten in 15. 15
games unbeaten. Listen, I can't complain, man. This, again, was the perfect performance. Just like the performance against Sheffield United. I can't fault anyone for doing something wrong. Even Luke Shaw, who I get on a daily basis, he had a good game today. So, listen, man, it's good for the confidence. The players that were taken off at the right time. Bruno, Pogba, Shaw, because they've been playing a lot of minutes. They need the rest. Thank God we've got 4 days of rest now before we're playing Bournemouth on Saturday. And listen, man, today, everything that could have gone right just went right. We got the early goal. We got the second goal at the right time. And then we killed the game off with the third. And then we just cruised through the game. And that is exactly what you need from a Man United team. Looking at the schedule that we have on paper, it should be easy. And listen, we're breathing down Leicester's necks, man. I'm telling you, we're 3 points behind them. All we have to do now is wish for them to drop a couple of points here and there. They've got, on paper, they've got a tougher schedule than we have. They still have to play Arsenal. They're playing Everton next. That's not going to be an easy game. They're playing Tottenham as well. Listen, third place, I'm telling you guys, is up for grabs. We need to try and go for third.
Mate, I couldn't agree with everything you've said there. I agree with. I've been looking at Leicester for weeks now, going, they would be my target. They're in front of Chelsea. Aim for them. And if we get past Leicester, I think we're definitely making top 4. I know there's a lot of good performances tonight, and we'll delve into some others. But Bruno Fernandes, did you expect him to have this level of impact on Man United? If we just look in the Premier League, he played 8 games. He's got 5 goals, 3 assists, and he's creating, on average 2.2 chances per game. Did you expect him to be this good in a Man United shirt? I
expected him to be good, but not this good, because the numbers that you just thrown out, those are striker numbers, man. 8 games, 5 goals. Those are striker numbers, and he's a midfielder. This is crazy. Like, the impact this guy has had on the team is incredible. Like I said so many times, and plenty of other people have said it, he's raised the levels of so many players around him. I mean, a lot of people, and I agree with it. I agree when people say, Bruno Fernandes is the man of the match today, but to me, it has to be Matic today, man. Like, Matic, that pass that he played to Rashford, to Greenwood, but yeah, on Bruno, he's definitely raised the levels of so many players, and I think when he came in, it must have been a thing where people looked at him and they knew what he did before at Sporting, and when he came in, they were like, okay, cool, I think we need to raise our levels here. We sincerely need to raise our levels. And him and Pogba again, to the link up today, man.
Mate, it's just, and do you know what they did? And I haven't got it here with me. Do you remember when I had yourself, JV, and the boys on, and I showed you that clip from where he scored the long range goal against Everton, and I showed you how when Bruno gets the ball, he attracts the players to him because of how potent he is. And I said that when him and Bruno Pogba are together, one of them will always be free because that will happen. And when Bruno hit the post and then he scored, it was basically the same chance. Each time Pogba had the ball at the edge of the box, everyone rushed to stop him having the ball. And then who's free next to him? Bruno, just to round his shot in. And I'm watching it going, see, I told you, I mean, football is a very simple game. It isn't just about shape. It is, you know, keep a simple shape, movement off the ball, pass it well, and you'll open teams up. It isn't any more than that. Of course, the higher quality of players you have, the better.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it again now.
The better example is a madness. Yeah, it's crazy. And I was looking at this, and I will put these up, even though we're doing fan cams, because I think it's worth looking at these things here. So there's two things I saw in this, right? So these are the build up to the goals, and I know you'll appreciate this when I show you. If we look at this as an example, that's a shape for Greenwood's goal. Remember the shape that me, you, and Danny were looking at? You got the players in these positions, and the number 10 here. This shape is continuous. You will see this shape with Man United when we go forward. You'll have wide players. You'll have the striker and number 10 that will be in this role here. That's almost a starting position, and then it's about players making the right runs and the right moves at the right time. And if I stop sharing that and then go back again to a slightly different one, which again was for Bruno's goal, you'll see the shape. Hopefully I've clicked on Bruno's and not this. You'll see the shape again. So this was the ball that was played in to Luke Shaw that run onto it. You'll again see the shape. Bruno down here in this position. You'll see the striker here. Now that was a starting position. It ends up different. You will see that shape in so much of Manchester United's play now. It's there for everyone.
When Luke Shaw got that ball there, I thought he was just gonna hit that one with his left foot. I expected him to do that, but he did the cutback. Yeah, but do you know
Luke Shaw was good today.
I thought he was good today. Trust me, he was really good. What I expected from him to do as a left back, he did it today. Bombing on forward, putting in the crosses. He had a decent amount of crosses in today, and I really like that. If we could just keep on doing that every single game, trust me, you will improve a lot. Big up Wan-Bissaka as well. Got another assist.
Wow. I mean? Wan-Bissaka, he's got more assists post lockdown than Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold combined. So
I'm here for all the propaganda.
Yeah, I'm here for that as well, bro. It's amazing. Tom here says Bruno has that Cantona effect. So far, look, Cantona's a legend because we went on to win league titles. Let's relax before saying that. But in terms of the effect, definitely it is Cantona-esque in terms of the levels that he's brought to the club since coming, bro. But listen, Aaron, appreciate you coming on, bro. We'll chat to you soon, yeah? Big up yourself.
Worries, man.
You too, my man. Take care. JV back in the house. Another 3-0 victory. Another win. More Ollie ball. Give me your thoughts on the game, bro.
You know what? Big game. That was a big game. The way we took control of the game, how we approached the game in terms of attacking. Bruno, Pogba, that front five, yeah, it's the 5-star 5, innit? 5-star 5. That front 5 is unbelievable when it's played right. Like you could see them all interchanging, and you know what I mean. They just all seem compatible with each other. It's like a good shoe. It's like a good shoe fit. You know what I'm saying? All of them on the
yeah.
So I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I can't see when this is one thing what does my head in with Ollie. We have these games and these results, and it starts to make you think, oh wait, we maybe got something going there. Do you get what I mean? And it's funny because you've said we're on a 15-game winning streak. I mean, not really, so a 15-game streak where we've not lost.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, the draws have felt like losses, haven't they? But then when you say it like that, it shows that we're on the right path. Do you get what I'm saying? When you're showing that we're on such a good streak. But yeah, big game today. Greenwood for me took that game and he's literally shown now that the right wing spot is his, and Dan James has to show why it isn't now.
Exactly. And that's what we need. And, you know, we all know that the ceiling of Greenwood is much higher than that of Dan James. And that's no disrespect to him. And I'm cool for Dan James coming on when he did in that game. And we didn't need to chase the game at that point. I'm fine with that, you know. And I think that a lot of people talk about like Matic freeing up Bruno and Pogba. I actually think them two now make Matic look better because Matic can do his job now.
Yes.
We've got the balance in midfield, and that is what is absolutely key about Man United. We're starting to look balanced, and you know we need another window, but things look great. I want to get your opinions on Bruno. We know how good Pogba is. We mentioned Greenwood, but Bruno again, 2 more goals today, and no penalties as well. So there's no slander. Penalties. 2 good goals from him. You know, were you expecting an impact from him like this?
Not at all. I thought he would have this impact after a while. Do you get what I'm saying? After a while, I think thought he would have been like that, but how he's been straight away. Even that, you know what? Even though that first goal was a bit of a deflection, I liked it because I seen a pattern between him and Pogba where they literally had a similar chance, a mirrored chance, like a few minutes before it. Exactly. Do you get what I mean? But then that finish for his second goal, that's a big finish. Even to take that first time, do you get what I mean? It shows confidence, and it's confidence that I think when he's on form, it's going through the team. It's not just him. Like even today, Luke Shaw, I can't call him Luke Unshaw anymore if he keeps playing like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that's fair, and I think that's what's fair about a lot of what, like you say. It's as you say, it's about being fair and honest about what people are doing. And if Luke Shaw keeps playing like this, then people will get off his back. You know, it's like Matic. He's come back in the team after spending the first half of the season out. No one's on his back because he's playing well. You know, as an example, the Bruno Fernandes thing. I'm just watching the goals again. Now, that counter-attack goal just reminded me of peak Man United. You know, it had everything. It had Harry Maguire again, colossal at the back today, not a foot wrong, wins the header, the pass from Matic. By the way, if Messi or David Silva or Henderson played that pass, the world would began mad for it. It's that good. And then when we was running with the ball, I don't know why. It's not disrespectful much for he's going to do something with the ball and it's going to go out of play or whatever. But he's hit the cross, and when he hit the cross, Rashford made his run and sucked the defender in. And then I saw Bruno come in, and I was already celebrating. I was like that. I was just seeing it like a goal, bruv. It was a goal, and then bang, it goes in. Yeah, I just over the moon with it, mate. But listen, JV, I appreciate you coming on, bro, having your say. We'll chat to you soon, bro. Take care, mate. Bye-bye. Top man. Flawless up in the house. Man United with another victory. Bro, I need to ask you this question. I'm sorry. Can you see the patterns of play yet, bruv? Can you see the patterns of play yet, bro?
I knew you was going to start with some nonsense. I already knew it. Like I said, those five, I call them the Avengers for a reason. You can't miss with that five. You cannot miss with that. When you put Bruno, Pogba, Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford together, all of them, what today's shown, all of them don't even have to be on song. Rashford was quiet. Martial was quiet. But the fact that Greenwood was on job and Bruno was on job, and even Pogba for his standard wasn't like exceptional, but he was just Pogba good. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, them five together, exceptional. Avengers. I have to large up Greenwood because that first goal, like it's so. Gary Neville said it's so Robin van Persie-esque. Like them two are cut from the same cloth, and that's some premium material.
I'd love to ask Mason around. Mason must have been in the academy when Van Persie was here. That was 7. Yes. I wonder how much time he spent watching Van Persie when Van Persie was here, like I say 5, 6, 7 years ago. He must have been watching. It's almost like he's mirrored his style on it. But yeah, he's out of this world, that kid. And you know, you said it after I think the first game. He's beefed up a bit over lockdown as well. Like he's got like man muscle now. He looks like a geezer as opposed to a little boy. and we're seeing that. Thoughts on Matic today? Another top performance.
Matic, exceptional. As a holding midfielder, it's crazy how when you play players in their position and allow them to do their job, they're fine with it. We all know Matic is a holding midfielder. Is he the highest tier of holding midfielder? No. But can he do a job? Yeah, he's experienced. This is a Premier League winner. I think he's won FA Cups at Chelsea as well. Even when he came, he played well. So now he's just being asked to be a holding midfielder. Don't worry about creative. You win the ball back, you break up play, and you give it to the more creative players. And as we've seen today, that pass for Greenwood, though. We need to wax lyrical about that third goal because even the header from the guy was a good header. That's a good clearance, that. And then chested it. See, you can tell I'm stumbling over words because I'm not excited. That third goal was exceptional. And then the way Greenwood's gone, Greenwood was so fast originally. I thought it was Rashford. I knew Greenwood was quick, but I didn't know he was that quick. And then he's gone, and then he's had the technical ability and the awareness to make that. How many times do we see that type of cross get overhit? And he's put it on a plate for Bruno, and then Bruno's done what Bruno does. Excellent goal, great performance overall.
And I love it. Do you know what, for me, Man United, there's 2 things about tonight, 3 things tonight about that impressed me. And I love the fact that our rivals are getting twisted, angry, and annoyed about it. 1, you just beat a little team. Well, they battered us there 2 seasons running. Like they battered us off the park 2 years running. They slapped us silly, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that and the fact that we haven't beaten, like over the last 7 years, we've been so inconsistent against smaller teams. The fact that we're now battering them all on a regular basis shows you there's improvement. The second element was we broke down a team that played excessively defensively and low block with the right players on there. Well, you can't break low block. We did. And then we topped it all off with a typical traditional Man United counter-attack. It had everything I wanted to see tonight. And if we can keep playing this well against the smaller teams and keep and maintain our top 6 record, United are going places next season. There's no doubt if we continue on this in this trajectory, we could end this season well. And the fact that we were being called a one-man team by rivals all over social media, whole game, it's the one-man team because of Bruno. That salt tells you you're back.
Yeah, and it's not no one-man team because we can see Greenwood had his game today, whereas against Sheffield United it was Martial. Like I said at the very start of this, we now have 5 players who are all match winners. We have 5 clutch players now. And if only 3 out of 5 of them play 8 out of 10, we're more than likely going to win most matches. Like I said, it's not like they were all at their scintillating best. That's the scary thing once we see them all over the preseason and all together at their scintillating best. The only issue I have is I'm not getting carried away because I know the deficiencies are still there. But obviously, we've just won 3-0, so I'm not going to be negative. But I know the deficiencies that United do have. But I'm going to celebrate, of course, especially that.
Exactly. As I said to our Arsenal fans, winning at Brighton is not for everyone.
I tweeted that like 60 minutes way through. I was like, yeah, Brighton thought they were going to turn up and treat us like Arsenal. Nah, fam, it don't work like that.
We're not Arsenal. We're going to
like that.
Listen, Flawless, brother, I appreciate you coming on, mate. We'll chat to you again probably Saturday for the next game.
Saturday?
I think we play Bournemouth Saturday, 3:00. So
I thought it was Sunday, but all right, you might be right. Oh yeah, it's Saturday. Yeah. All right, respect as always.
Take care, mate. Speak to you soon. Take care. All the best, bro. Bye-bye. Elite Brian.
All right, listen.
Look at this.
Listen, before I'm going to go off on one.
Sorry. So we just look like 3 hard-boiled eggs.
I'm going to go off on one.
I'm
going to go off on one. Okay, first of all, let me say this. Nemanja Matic, bro, I apologize, fam. I am sorry for all the abuse that I have given you, calling you Nemanja static, calling you a dead baller, all of them whenever you kick. So hats off to you, well done. Okay, it's time for the propaganda and gas. Mason Greenwood, is the chosen one, fam. He is Luke Skywalker. He is Neo, fam. He is the Avatar. Whatever chosen one there is, that he is it, fam. Mason Greenwood is the one because the way this kid plays, he plays beyond his years. His goal was absolutely stupendous. The two step overs and then the left footed finish in the bottom corner, beautiful. The cross for the assist, absolutely on a peach. It's right there. Put it on a plate for Bruno. Love that. And what impressed me so much is that today, there's 2 things that I saw today. Today, when you give him the ball, he will hardly lose it. He would do a little body feint, a little shimmy, and lose 3, 4, 5 man around him and then play the pass where it's supposed to do. Most players can't do that. And 2, if he does make a mistake, you know that he's going to go and get the ball back. He was running after that ball every time he made a mistake. Whenever there was loose possession, he was there trying to get it. So Mason Greenwood, he is my kid. Our star boy. I told you the propaganda was coming, Terry. I told you. I said after a hat-trick, I'll do it. It's too early. I don't care. It's too early. Mason Greenwood propaganda, RVG fam, star boy, United. Let's go.
There we go. Brian, bro, what did you make of the game, my bro? What did you make of the game?
Yeah, it's so nice to see Manchester United have players that can affect the game in very different ways in a bunch of different positions now, right? Like in the past, we've had players who maybe they were good at one thing here, but like if they were asked to do anything outside of that, they wouldn't be able to cut the mustard. But now, I mean, you've got Greenwood who can go past players, get a shot away, and score. I mean, lethal in front of goal. He's got a cross on him. We've got players like Pogba, who we know how good he is in front of goal. his eye for pass, his ability to dominate the midfield. Same with Bruno. The work rate's there. The cohesion is there. Like United, they're looking. Obviously, they're like if you look really deeply into the team now, obviously there are still gaps and there's still strength and depth that needs to be added to the squad. But the 11 that United can put out now in Project Restart is good enough to beat any team in this division. Any team.
Yeah, and we've proven that, and it's interesting, really, because I've seen so much salt this evening from Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans. Strangely, you guys are getting gassed. You're only beating Brighton.
Hey, beating Brighton isn't for everybody on the road now. It's not for everybody.
This is
I swear you man went to their place and got slapped up 2-1, fam.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing with it is, this isn't about just beating and scraping past a Brighton or a Sheffield United. It's positively wiping the floor with them.
Yeah.
And they had a little resurgence after we made our substitutions, had a few good shots, etc. But they didn't get anywhere near us. And in that opening half, it was beautiful. And there's a long way to go this season. And if we continue in this vein of form, we will make the top 4. We could win some trophies. But it's about using this, as I've said all along, the base camp to go into next season for me and say, right, 2 more players, 3 more players in the summer, base camp, get ready, because if we keep progressing at this rate, we will catch Liverpool in the next 18 months. If we keep progressing at this rate, we will catch Liverpool in the next 18 months. There's no doubt in my mind. There's too much quality. There's too many goals. We've got a midfielder in Bruno Fernandes. He's played 8 Premier League games. He scored 5 goals and assisted 3. He's creating 2.2 chances per game. Pogba. Paul Pogba's been back in the Man United team now, I think, for 3 Premier League games, and he's created 9 on 10 chances. It's just outrageous how good they all are. And I would still say, I looked at Rashford today. Still doesn't look fully fit. Pogba doesn't look fully fit, as an example. So there's still a way to go with these players. Greenwood, you're telling me Greenwood's not going to get better in the next 18 months? Like, there's so much room to grow in this team. It's unbelievable. And the reason I believe it, and I believed it at the beginning of the season, and I lost my way because I allowed myself to get emotional. We lost Pogba and we didn't get all the players we needed in the summer. But I felt the fear in the summer from rivals. They saw how we were playing in pre-season. They saw the players had signed. And now that Bruno's here and everyone's fit, it's taken a little bit longer to come to fruition. And I made the mistake, the human error of not sticking to my own guns long enough. But if we get the Sanchos, if we bring in another defender, maybe a Van der Beek as well, we throw that into this squad, suddenly we're going to be exceedingly potent. We really, really are. There's no doubt in my mind. We've got a go on, mate. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, credit to Ali. I think Ali knows this team better than any Manchester United fans thinks that they do. The way that he sticks by these players and coaches them through the adversity that this team has been through this season has been remarkable. Like, to see players like Nemanja Matic, who up to the point where they decided to re-sign him, fans were saying the guy was finished, and he looks like he belongs in the team again. Like I thought he was man of the match today. He was brilliant. He's incredible today. And it was one of those things, like, there are players that people have slagged off and said, like, you don't have anything to give to this team anymore. You're better off somewhere else. And for some of those players, it's been true, and they're not anywhere near the side anymore, at least not in any real capacity, right? And then for others who still have something to give, Ali has been able to get that out of them by putting the right stuff around them. It's almost like he knew what he was doing from the beginning. Who would have known? Yeah,
and on that point, you make a really good point there, because Matic made a few kind of snidey comments in the early part of the season about Ollie not picking him.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, oh, beginning of the end for Ollie. Ollie's turned the relationship round. That should tell you all you need to know about his man management ability, that he's obviously had a word with him the right way. I read something in the newspaper today, and journalists saying Ollie berates players privately. But one of the things that Ollie has fed into the football club is we can't do our dressing downs in public, because, if I want to get rid of a particular player, but all I do is spend months telling the whole world how rubbish he is, how are we going to get the right price for him in the market? Selling players at the right price is important, because you need that income to help you buy other people, and it's moving forward. There was a comment here before we jump on some other callers, and this is what I love. This is the fear. Terry, you're 34 points behind Liverpool, and they have a game in hand. Catch them laughing. Cool. You do realize 2 seasons ago, you finished nearly 30 points behind City.
Mm-hmm.
So You're acting like it's an impossible task. And as I've said, listen to my words carefully. And I know that Liverpool fans will take it out of context, but that's if someone takes you out of context or they perform, what's the word? It's called an adamant, where they attack you rather than your point. As I said, if we continue progressing at this rate and sign the right 2 or 3 players in the summer, in around 18 months, we will catch Liverpool. Again, if we stop progressing and we don't sign the right players, it won't happen. It's a fair point. Liverpool, I'm addressing you directly. We are coming for you. Be afraid. Be very afraid. United are back.
I'm hoping that the recruitment continues to go as well as it is, because you can see the difference it's starting to make with the signings that we had. You can't really say all of our signings have been terrible. Like Dan James may be the lowest of the thing, but he had his time. He had a time where he was doing well and he's still learning, and there's still places for him to go. But even Igalo has been great. Maguire has been great. Wan-Bissaka is amazing, and obviously Bruno is Bruno. He's amazing. So if our recruitment process can stay the same, coupled with hopefully Ollie improving as a coach, because I feel like his man management is like on point. I can't even complain about that, and the way he treats the players and makes them feel, I can't really complain about that really. Like, and then the only thing you can say is maybe his in-game management. Today the subs stunk up the place, but that necessarily isn't Ollie's fault. Maybe he could have introduced them like a bit at a time to keep the momentum, but other than that, like that's the wider squad issue. So if Ollie can keep improving as a manager, getting better tactically, making the right subs at the right time for the right people, then listen, we have a chance of a romantic story on our hands.
I agree. We've added Ram to the call here, Liverpool fan. What did you make? You said earlier, your words to me were, "I'm fearful of Man United." What are you thinking now after that performance?
I still say the same. I still think the same. I'm not going to say that I'm petrified of them. I'm not scared. I'm not, because I believe in my team. But you are a force to be reckoned with. I've always said this. My first article that I wrote about Mason Greenwood was that there's so much of Robbie Fowler that I see in him. The way he can he's a natural born goal scorer. Like, you don't see that a lot. It reminds me of the Fowlers, the Sheringhams, the Shearers that can just score goals. I see that. I think you guys got a proper player in your hands. And yeah, the less said about Bruno, the better for Liverpool fans. So yeah, that's it.
It's another comment here from Liverpool fans said the other 2 don't even believe you, clown. Listen, Lennon, I'm not going to put words into Brian or KJ's mouth. I don't need them to believe me. I am my own man. I believe in myself. And if I get things wrong, I'll also take it on the chin and say that. But trust me, we're coming for you. Enjoy your time at the top. Enjoy this fake little perch that you've created for yourself. United are going to be back. And I do think that you winning the league is going to help awaken this giant. It's going to awaken the giant, and we're coming back for you. And it's going to be painful and peak. It's going to be painful and peak for Liverpool fans when the greatest team in your Premier League era only produces 1, maybe 2 Premier Leagues, and then Man United come back to winning ways. And when it happens, the fallout's going to be beautiful.
You don't want to do a Rio, mate.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it, bruv. You know what I mean?
You don't want to do a Rio.
PE teacher is lifting that trophy when you're sitting back and forth. It's going to be cool. And
cool.
There we go. Bring it on.
You don't want to do a Rio, mate. You don't want to do a Rio where you just say you're going to win the league.
We haven't really spoke Bruno with you guys. Tell me about Bruno.
I don't want to. You know,
the impact.
You guys say.
What you saying about Bruno?
Yeah, you know. Again, I was saying one of my favorite things about Bruno is how he can affect a game with his many different qualities. His passing, his crossing today, not the best I've seen from him. And I think that's putting it mildly. I thought a lot of his passes were really wayward, not the best. And yet he still impacts the game with a brace. And so nobody really talks about that stuff. He's a proper player. I mean, he's yet to lose in a Manchester United shirt. And his mentality is such that when he is finally a part of a team that does take a loss, he's going to go off on those players. And it's going to be something that keeps this Manchester United team on the up and up. So I love the fact that he's in the team and what he brings just on the pitch, but also off it. I'm very pleased with him. It amazes me, like, to think when we were flirting with him and chasing him over the summer, what could have been this season if we would have signed him then, you know? But I'm glad that he's here regardless.
Yeah, I get that. I think what's interesting is that teams click at different times. I've already admitted how wrong I got it, in a sense. I thought we were going to click from the early part of the season, but it took us until January. It took time for the new players to blend in and gel with one another. It took time for it to work. He's almost not a final piece of the jigsaw, but he's almost that catalyst. But I also don't think would have been as far behind as we were if Pogba hadn't been missing for the majority of the season. So I think all those things played a factor because that squad was too thin. But yeah, Bruno, I agree. I mean, KJ, we're going to add Indiana to the call now as well. But KJ, your thoughts on Bruno and what he did again today? That's 8 goal contributions in 8 Premier League games. I don't know ever if a midfield player has ever done that. I'm going to get it checked, but I think it's the best start a midfielder has ever had in the Premier League history.
His influence is mad crazy. Like, I have not seen Anthony Martial so happy in my life. Like, the way that he is now slot into the team and not just getting used to it, but he looks like he's been there for years. Me and my dad, like, discussing earlier, like, he's only been here for 8 Premier League games, but yet when he plays, he feels like he's been part of the squad for a very long time. And it's just very rare do players do that, slot in so nicely. So he's just a beautiful piece of the jigsaw, and he's the kind of player that you can tell, like, yo, he wants to be the best. He wants to become one of the greatest players for Man United and for himself. So he's just amazing. I'm so glad. There's sometimes, like, I've because of the 7 years of transfer we've had, I'm like, how have we got this guy? Like, how was this even possible? I love it. I love what's going on with Bruno, with Pogba, with the whole front five, the Avengers. I love what's happening, and you'd love to see it. And I can see Bruno going on to take that number 8 shirt.
I hate that so much.
Big up, Flawless is still in the background. That's his thing, bro. Big up, Flawless.
You get me? That's what I'm saying. I'm just watching the show. I was just about to type it. You get me? Salute to you,
the Avengers. The Avengers. And here's the funny thing too. Here's the thing: the fact that, and I don't want to give Ram too hard of a time, but the fact that he's a Liverpool fan who's already won the league, and you were frustrated by the fact that Manchester United called their front five the Avengers, you were scared. You're scared. You're scared. You're scared.
You know, bro. You know.
The back five of us, I ain't scared, man. You got Robbo, we got Braveheart, we got Trent Alexander-Arnold, man. I ain't scared.
Watch just next season. I can just see Bruno Fernandes sticking in a 90-minute winner in front of the cop.
Yeah.
I
can see it.
I would happily put James Milner on just for him, just to clatter him so many times. I hope Klopp does that. I really do hope Klopp does that.
That is if James Milner's still playing, bro.
Bro, typical Scouser result into violence. What are you talking about, bro? Indiana, welcome to the show, bro. What do you want to say and make of that performance?
He's speechless. It was so good.
Indiana, there we go. We've got another. There we go. He's gone. But yeah, no. Listen, we're only teasing Liverpool fans to an extent. We still know how good you are.
Exactly. Right.
But we can. Man United fans can genuinely see some light at the end of the tunnel now. I think he's back. I think he might be back.
Guys, I just want to say something. You know that previous super chat that you had, Chelsea. I feel like there's a lot of disrespect handed towards Chelsea pre Roman Abramovich era, in my opinion. Like, I know they weren't as big as they were, but they still had some pretty, I'll say decent, but they're pretty brilliant players like Marcel Desailly and Ruud Gullit. So
fuck them.
Yeah,
I'm just being real. I'm being real.
That's nice.
I'm being real.
That's nice, man. But we're here to chat about United, formerly Avengers, getting the Infinity Stones and clicking Thanos out of existence. So don't talk about Chelsea, bro.
Facts, man. Facts. We got the Avengers. Now we just need the Infinity Stones. That's it. You know what I mean? We have the squad now. The squad's in there, innit? We just need a couple more, innit? The Avengers ain't full. All we have is the 5. But the rest of it's being added.
Now, we've got to go get our Ant-Man. We've got to go get, we've got to get a few little scatterings for the main cast. Indiana, can you hear us? Indiana can't hear us. His signal is wrong. Tyrannosaurus. What do you make of that? Oh, he's gone. What do you want to drop it off for? Don't bother. We've got this other guy that's in here, but if you don't connect your device, you can't phone in. I know if you can't, but there we go. Let's do a few more of these comments here. Where are Arsenal 10th? I haven't even looked at the league table.
Yeah,
So
Arsenal at 10th.
Who cares? Who cares?
When they 10th, we got to remind them at every given opportunity. Arsenal at 10th.
I think Arsenal's fan base is so they're so brittle that they'll remind themselves. They'll wake up in a cold sweat and be like, "Oh, we're in 10th."
Oh my god!
There's the league table as it stands right now. It's looking. I mean, we obviously know. Hang on. Let me just change the table. There you go. Right. So look at the league table from there. That looks better now. From second down, there's no point looking at. There's no race at the top's over. It's all about. Isn't it amazing though? Liverpool first ever Premier League title. The most exciting part is the race that Man United are in. It's brilliant. The bit
Can I just see the C bit in front of next to Liverpool? If you don't know.
No. So actually,
Yo, you're the C.
You know what C stands for, bruv? So it's so tight there now. It's so tight in this part of the league with United. We will catch Leicester. I'm pretty damn sure of that. Chelsea, I think, will make top 4 as well. Wolves are still there or thereabouts.
No.
Come on, Wolves. What happened to KJ?
KJ's signal is awful. Honestly, his modem's a potato. It goes all the time. I've got a few more super chats here. First one from Kieran says, Terry, you need to let me on as a Liverpool fan just so I can give realistic perspective on where United are. Call the show, bruv. The link's in the description below. Anyone can come on. Zane, Spurs are going bust.
I wonder where Elite is, because the guy likes to pipe.
Elite Opinions is gone, mate. He ain't getting involved. He knows. Elite Opinion knows, bruv. They all know. They all know Man United are coming back. Honestly, bruv. There we go. I just got to say, there's a documentary about Ryan Giggs. Making me feel happy. But yeah, that's where. Yeah, what were you gonna say? You say KJ before you jumped off?
Oh, I was saying that, Ram, you don't need to see the C section on the table because it's your screensaver, bruv. I know it is. You got the sky table with the golden C on it as your screensaver. You don't need to watch it on here. Don't worry about that.
I'm not that petty, yeah. I'm petty, but I'm not petty.
You are that petty, and you know what? I rate it. Petty recognized petty, so I rate it. You are extremely petty.
I'm only
even though you support the wrong side, you are very petty.
I'm only petty. I know you have fans, not to myself, innit? So
there we go. Yeah. So there we have it. That's the team. That's where things are right now. It's going to be it's going to be an interesting end to the season, though, with everything going on. It's going to be amazing sort of final clash at the top. Top 4 is amazing. Relegation is looking quite peak as well. So at least there's something exciting going. Like, I'm not having a go at Liverpool. You won the league with ease, but it's from a neutral. If you're not in the title race, you just want it to look good, and it doesn't. There literally wasn't a race, so that's disappointing. But at least there's a proper top 4 race on now, and United are looking good for it, doing well. And yeah, it's going to be a peak end to the season. And obviously, we've got Chelsea coming up soon as well. I didn't ask yourself, Brian and Flawless, this the other day. Chelsea in the FA Cup, who are you predicting to go through?
I mean, let's just stick them again. Done it before. Let's just stick them again. You know, I mean, whatever.
You know what is the reason why I'm concerned is Chelsea. How many times has Ollie beat Lampard? Is it 4 or 5 times?
I think 3.
3 times.
3, yeah.
3. Twice in the league and once in the cup.
Once in the cup. So it's kind of like, and wait, did he not beat him as well when he had his interim run as well?
No, he beat Chelsea, but Lampard weren't there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, which makes me think, normally Chelsea, we've had a bad record against them. And I think the last 4 or 5 times we beat them. So what I'm concerned is they're due one. They are due one. I'm just hope that I'm wrong about that.
Just not this one. The due one, just not this one.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that.
They can have one. They can have one like 5 years down the road, but like not this one.
I want to be supporting Arsenal. You know, I'm going to back Arsenal to win the FA Cup. You know, I have a feeling that they might do it. You know, just for
Bush League.
No, we can't be having that because you have the fans screaming 14 times.
Yeah.
We don't
can't be having that.
There we go. Ram, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll chat to you again soon, bro. We've got a couple more callers we're gonna throw on here. We're gonna add Kieran, the Liverpool fan, on as well. First up, though, Bush League pundit. What did you make of United's scintillating performance this evening?
Yo, that's all we care about, brother. That's all we watch it. That's all we watch it all the way from America. We love it. You gotta love it. You gotta freaking love it, baby. I'm in love, man. I'm in love. I'll tell you what, I've fallen in love with my team all over again. I'm not at the place where I'm worried about we going into a game anymore. You remember that time when, there's a game coming up and you're sitting and you're wondering, like, God damn it, how are we going to play today? But not anymore. I have so much confidence going into every game that we play that I'm just bragging to my friends all over because we're going to whoop ass today, and I love it. I absolutely love it, baby.
Mate, I agree with you. We've got Kieran that's joined the call. Kieran is a Liverpool fan who wants to give us some perspective.
Mate. So naturally, United are going to get closer next season, aren't they? Look at Liverpool in the Premier League; it's almost a perfect season. 7 points dropped out of possible 93.
Yep,
which is unreal. So we're not going to uphold that standard next year. United are definitely looking good, but to say that they're back, I mean, you're probably 3 to 4 players away, in all honesty. Once you lose one of those main players, Fernandes or Pogba, then where's the backup? So you don't have a creative spark which allows Rashford to go down the wings or sort of Martial to finish. Sort of your drop off is Mata. Mata ain't been the same player for 4 years. And as impressive as Bruno's start's been, we've seen it quite often, haven't we? Sort of players are good at the start, but can they keep it going for a full season? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, but them man are called Pookie. The guys like that are called Pookie and Michu. So our guys called Bruno Fernandes, fam.
Or Mesut Ozil.
You make some good points.
He does.
In terms of my point about saying we're back, my caveat is we need to keep the projection going, and we need to sign the right 3 or 4 players this summer. Because if we throw in Grealish, Van der Beek, I'll throw names here, Sancho, and Ben Chilwell. I'm throwing a name out there, right? If those 4 players signed, 2 or 3 of the guys you mentioned leave, suddenly we've got the strength in depth needed. Are we going to catch Liverpool next season? No, but I think you made a great point as well. We don't need to make up 34 points because I think if Liverpool have a season where they win 10 less points, suddenly, and we win 10 more points, you've shaved 20 points off that 34 already. So it isn't a case of having to win. We don't have to win an additional 34 points and win an extra 11 games and draw 1. We don't need to do that much. All it takes is for you guys to lose an extra 2 games and draw an extra 3 games, and for us to win an extra 3, and we've more than halved it, if that makes sense. And that, for me, if Man United finish, if you win the league next year and we finished 14 points behind you, but 1 more games, carried on playing well, a lot of United fans, in theory, would accept that and go, right, now, the season after that, now we're really coming for you. They probably would. So I'd take that as long as we're not 14 points behind you and finishing 6th and getting knocked out all the cup competitions early. There's caveats, but if we're 20 points better off next season, I'm happy because that's 20 extra points. I then want the following season to do it. So I'm not really looking at Liverpool from a points point of view. I'm just saying, Man United, I'm pretty sure United are not going to let you sit there at the top of the league, giving it large, having all these parades, winning all these trophies. There's going to be a reaction. We can't stomach it. We're coming for you. You ever seen the film Hancock? You seen the film Hancock? Like when one of the heroes becomes too strong, the other one gets like ill or whatever. That's how it feels right now. So we got to now come for you and stop you. It's a yin and a yang thing, bruv. And I'm sorry, I'm not calling you out. You personally, you're a nice guy, probably a nice family man. See a picture. But we're coming for you, bruv.
You know what I think real quick? Liverpool doesn't have a squad. They have 11. They have a very strong 11. And just like City last year when they lost Laporte for a year and then Vincent Kompany left, and then City just ended up just a shadow of themselves from last year. Liverpool is just 1 injury away from finishing 3rd. And that, in my opinion, And that's not saying that we want their players to get injured. I'm just saying Manchester United right now is figuring out their first 11, and with a little bit of luck and a healthy season, we can finish right up there next to the top, if not winning it. So it's not necessary to say we have years to pick up, because all we need now is to fix this 11, maybe 1 or 2 more players in this 11, and then a couple of squad players, and we're there. That's how I feel.
I agree with parts of that, but the area where we've got strength and depth is midfield, which is very important to the way we play. If we got strong midfield, it allows the fullbacks to overlap and become those 5 up front. So, yeah, we've probably got amongst the best 11 in world football. If we go 1 to 11, can you name a better first 11? It is very difficult. So you got more fashionable players.
Mate, Liverpool.
Yeah, but I think the point that he's making is like, let's say you lost Salah for the amount of time that United lost Pogba. That's a significant portion of your goal output. They're clearly not going to come from Firmino. He can't score in a brothel, right? And then you're over relying on Mane. So like sometimes injuries add to the luck. And I think that like United had such a difficult start to the season because they lost one of their best players, right? And so like sometimes it's really difficult. So I think that's one of the things he's saying. Like if you lose a big player for a significant amount of time, Liverpool wouldn't be anywhere near as good as they were this year.
Yeah, we lost Alisson for 2 months, Fabinho for 6 weeks, Salah missed 5 games earlier in the season.
That's fair enough, mate. But that isn't substantial. That is, look at Laporte and Sane whole season. You're talking about like the 60-70% of the season as an example. And by the way, I'm not wishing it on Liverpool because I don't wish injuries on anybody. I'm just saying all these things will play a factor. So United may not need to be 34 points better next year. And as I was alluding to, I can't quite remember the reference from the film, but I do think there's an element of Liverpool doing well that is going to, this nonsense that we won't be prepared to pay more than 50 million for Sancho. It's a load of old nonsense. Anyone who believes that needs to stop smoking whatever they're smoking because it's crazy. That's just public negotiations. If it's even been said by anybody, United are going to react to this. They have to react to this because there's been pushback from fans before. If Liverpool are now winning major trophies regularly and we seem to be doing nothing, the Glazers are going to have mutiny on their hands. And by the way, they want us for our money. The one thing about people that want to make money, if they are leeches, is they'll do what they need to do to keep the money coming in. If Man United fans turn their back on the club, the money will reduce. You only get big sponsorship deals when you have viewing figures that make it plausible. And I'm not here to attack Liverpool. You're the best team in England. You're the best team in England. But Man United are gearing up to come for you. Whether we beat you and topple you, that will come down to it. But I don't think we're going to sit idly by and just be like, oh yeah, do your thing. We'll sit here and watch from afar. We're coming. Honestly, it's going to happen. Zane here of a super chat says the players won the game. Ollie has no tactics. In a few years, Arteta will be Pep Part 2, but with hair.
That's pretty funny.
Here's the thing with Ollie.
Stop dreaming.
Here's the thing with Ollie though. A girl said it on our show. I can't remember her name, and she was saying how she thinks Ollie is setting it up. What Brendan Rodgers did for Liverpool, Ollie can do for us. Because like I said, one thing Ollie has done very well at United is improve the squad. This squad is miles better. He has set it up very much so for the next manager to be successful. So and United, like I said, we're going in the right direction. We are going in the right direction. And even though I'm not a fan of Ollie like that, one thing he has done is improve the squad. And I think United are probably I like that. See, that's why you're my G, Terry. United are like 4 players away from having a first 11 that can be in a race. I think we're literally 4 players away. Whether we get them 4 players, I don't know, because there's no reason why we can't do that this summer. But I just have no faith in the hierarchy to negotiate.
I say 3, man. I'm saying 3.
So who's your 3 position? Who would you say is your 3 positions?
Me.
Who would you say? Yeah. Sorry, I don't know your name.
My 3 positions would be right wing.
Yeah.
KJ.
All right, cool. Yeah, go on.
So right wing.
Yeah.
So you got right wing, Jadon Sancho. I would say as much as Matt has just been sick, more modern, more mobile CDM, and then man needs a new left back, fam. And then
definitely.
Then we're good to go.
No, I'm not gonna lie, because I think I like Bailly and Tunze and Axel. I like those 2. I think those 2 are good, but they're too injury prone for me. That's the problem. I think if either one of those could stay fit, I wouldn't be saying that. But they can't stay fit, and I think Lindelof and Maguire are too similar. Maguire needs pace around him. But I get
No,
what
I
you're
get
saying.
that.
Yeah.
I get that. But if we are going where we're going with how much possession we have and how much attacking force that we're going for, you can kind of get away with having the two kind of slowish centre backs because all your pressure is on the defending team. So what it happened? What today? All Brian could do is hoof it long. Maguire would clean up, head it down, give it to Matic or Lindelof, and they would pass it off. So I feel like you could get away with Lindelof and Maguire if you had the right attacking force, which I think if you had those three players added in, it would be enough.
On this comment here from Higgins, he says, even with your maths, you would still be 14 points behind the champions of England. Yes, and I literally said 14 points. I don't know what you were listening to, Higgins, mate. We would still be behind you. But the point I'm making is, contextually, we have to put the context right. If Man United next season in the Champions League, if we got to a quarterfinals, maybe a semi-finals in the Champions League, maybe won a domestic cup, were cemented in the top four and finished at 14 points behind Liverpool where they are now. If the football was brilliant from us, generally speaking, we were moving forward like we are now, United fans would probably take that as progression from being so far away from you right now. And then as we go into the 2021-22 season, that's when the expectation of United fans would be, now we go for it. Like for me, again, if we finish 14 points behind them, but we finish fifth and do crap in the cup competitions, contextually, no, it doesn't make sense. So I'm just pointing out that we don't need to improve by 34 points to catch Liverpool. By the way, Liverpool might be 20 points worse off next season, and then we only need to improve by 15 points, and we're in front of you on a points basis. To get what I mean, it's no, and this is the thing. It's just all we need to make sure we do is not look at it actually from a points point of view. What we need to make sure we do is that we just keep winning games like we are today. When we play teams in the bottom half, I want a 95% win ratio minimum next season, home and away against those teams. Top six, maintain that. And then when you've got the teams in the middle, 60-70% win ratio as an example. You do that, suddenly you can win a league. And so I wouldn't focus on Liverpool from a points difference. I'm talking about a quality of games. And if you look at Man United in the league this season, we did look at it a little bit earlier. I can put it back up now. Our biggest issue has been them 10 draws. Yeah. If you take 5 of them draws and make them wins, right, that's an extra 10 points to us, which would put us on 62 right now, which puts us just behind City. You take 3 of those losses and make them wins, as an example. That's 9 points. That would put us on on 80, almost 80 points. Sorry, 81 points would be on there. Now, that's still a fair way away from where Liverpool are at this. Actually, it's not. It is. I didn't even realize that Liverpool are on. So if we won 5 of the games we drew and lost 3 games less and won them, right? And I don't think winning an extra 8 games from this position is impossible for Man United. If we'd have done that, and if you go back to a lot of them draws, they were narrow and we weren't creating, and some of those losses were to dirt teams at the beginning of the season, we'd only be 5 points behind where Liverpool are now anyway. So do you get where I'm coming from? It's not, go back to those games as Man United fans and watch them. There's fine margins. And as the boys have already said, and I stand by what everyone has sat here and said, if we sign the right players and improve those areas, we can undoubtedly get closer to Liverpool. Catch them, I don't know. But yeah, it's not thrown. By the way, I'm not even trying to throw salt at Liverpool. I'm simply stating that if we play like we've had in the last 14, if you look at the last 14 games, I haven't looked at the Premier League games in that time. I wonder how many points we were actually behind Liverpool in that period. And that would be what's worth looking at. And I'll do it right now. There is a form table we can go and look at. Right, I'll do that. So go on, mate. Go.
And especially considering that we haven't won 3 games in a row all season in the Premier League season. I think we'll do it the next game. Obviously, we should win the next game. But imagine we can, like you said, we can put some form of run together. If United could win 8 games in a row, 9 games in a row, or have a draw and then win 5 games in a row, just to gain the momentum. But like I said, it's heading. We're all very optimistic, and it's heading in the right direction. Like I said, my only issue is obviously with Ollie is in case of loss of form from players or a player gets injured, then we see the difference. We've seen what happened at Spurs.
So we look at this run of form we're in, right? So in the last 12 games, Man United have 24 points. Liverpool have 31 points. So better than us, we know that. But you know what? In that same run of time, this is how good our run has been. City have only got 1 more point extra than us, 25. Chelsea 22 points. Wolves 22 points. Burnley have been amazing, 21 points. Arsenal 19 points. Since them back-to-back defeats to Liverpool and Burnley, Since then, we've been the third best team in the league as an example. So from my point of view, the way I look at it is that Burnley game is a prime example of a game that we at home that we shouldn't be losing. And there's no excuses for losing that the way we did. We go back to the beginning of the season. A few unlucky games we didn't win as an example. You know, the way we got battered by West Ham at the London Stadium stands out as an example to me. But we just didn't get going. The way we drew with Southampton after starting so well, should have beaten Wolves as an example. And the season's littered with them. If you just take 5 or 6 games and add those where we were the better team, but we couldn't create as an example, we're closer. And that's why they're not a million miles away in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion. So, I mean, that ain't that bad. And by the way, we finish the season next year 6, 7, 8 points away from Liverpool, but second or third in the league, playing beautifully. I don't think any of you deep down your hearts will be moaning when you think where we were in December 2019. You think, okay, in 18 months, we've got that much closer to Liverpool. Then again, then the expectation should be now we push on and we're proper title challengers. That's what I would look at. You know, Liverpool did it, 25 points, then they're a point behind, and now they've leapfrog City. It took Liverpool 3 years to do that, to get from creating this team. So Man United have almost created our team. So Liverpool created their team 2 seasons ago, and now they've just won the league now in the 3rd season with this team, as an example. We added a few players, some before last. United now can do that. Ollie's only 1 year in. I know he was interim, but he didn't buy any players till this summer. He's 1 year in. And for me, I just don't understand. I get why rivals will say we can't do it, but I don't understand the negativity that we can't catch them when I see the way we're playing now. Just I might be chatting pure shit, but I don't know if it makes sense or not. I don't know.
Nah, it makes your point. It makes sense what you're trying to say. And can we catch him? It's just like I said in key areas, like the reason why I'm not a fan of Ollie is because it's just his in-game management. I can't remember one game since he took the job permanently where he's made a change and it's made a difference. Like he's always so slow to react. That's why,
we also, I was gonna say we also
it's twofold.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's twofold. Maybe you can put part of that on Ali, but I think you also have to put a lot of that on the squad. If you look around at your bench and these aren't gonna do anything if I put them in, then there's nothing you can do. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So it's one of those things where if you don't have the players that can come in who have the quality to change a game outside of Mason Greenwood, and he's 17, and you don't want to ruin his career by burning him out early, what are you going to do? Nothing. You're just going to stick with what you got and hope that they don't lose, So
look at the subs made today. Look at the subs made today. Like if you place Andres Pereira with Jack Grealish, if you Scotty Mackey is fine.
Gomez coming on the pitch, but that's another story.
Yeah,
that's true. That's another story. We'll leave that one alone.
We'll leave that alone.
Scotty Mack's fine. Scott McTominay is fine. You've got Dan James who he can do jobs in certain games, but if that was let's just say, let's take a player out there. Say that was Zaha, for example, and it was bringing him off the bench. And then say we had Donny van der Beek, who could also come into midfield as well. You're then starting to look like a serious team. So as much as there's times where I'm like, Ollie, why aren't you making the changes early enough? Why are you bringing on certain players over other players? Also got to think, the man's got nothing else. Man has to pick Pereira because who else is there? Jesse Lingard. You know what I'm saying? It's just big, bro.
Right, one super chat out here from Stephen who says, Terry, please read out my previous super chat. It would mean so much. I'm trying to raise money and awareness for liver awareness disease for children. Go check out Stephen's, click on Stephen's page. He's done the super chats. Go click on his profile, click on his page and help the guy raise money for the Children's Liver Disease Foundation. Send me a link as well, bruv. Send me a DM and I'll donate some money towards it myself personally. So send that towards me, my man, and I'll get that done. There's a comment here as well. See, and this is what I love. Woulda, coulda, shoulda FC. Reflecting back, don't change the past. United are 5th while we won the league for over 20 clear points. Dreamers. Paul, you do realize that managers will watch over past footage to teach their team how to move forward. You don't learn unless you only learn by reviewing history. How you don't make the same mistakes in the future is by reviewing and learning history. So you don't live in the past, but you have to respect it. If you don't understand where you've come from, if you don't understand your history, if you don't understand your mistakes, you're bound to make them again. Every team will watch its games back because they don't want to make the same mistakes again. So I hear your point, but that's the kind of comment I'm talking about. It's probably why I've over-egged it on purpose. That's the kind of comment for me. That's that's a dismissive. No, you're not coming back based on absolutely nothing. Because 2 years ago, when you were 25 points away from Man City, it's what Man City fans were saying to Liverpool. We had a guy. He was a guy from Canada. His name was Kai. He used to speak like that. He was like, "Hi, Kai." I used to ring the show, and he used to laugh when I said Liverpool. Because I was saying for years, Liverpool are going to catch you soon. And he used to laugh and slag Liverpool off. No way they're getting near us bottlers. They're never going to be good enough. He hasn't rung the show in over a year now, ever since he saw Liverpool come good. But this is what I'm saying to Liverpool fans. You sound like the City fans did 18 months, 2 years ago. Trust me, teams are going to come. By the way, not just United. Chelsea are coming for Liverpool. Chelsea are coming for Liverpool. Man City, if they don't get a ban, are coming for Liverpool. This isn't we got to come for you. You've woken Man United up. Like like the Force Awakening, like Hancock and his weird blonde sister, girlfriend, wife thing. I love the film Hancock. I watched it the other day. Like there are some certain teams and certain entities that are drawn together, and you've woken us up. Embrace it. You can't catch us. Based on what? There's nothing you can tell me that's factual that means we can't catch you. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Sorry to shout you down, but it don't make any sense to me. Another super chat here says, Terry, are you assuming Liverpool and City won't improve? No, I'm not assuming, but we're coming for you still. We're still coming. Do you know what? How good was Usain Bolt? Best ever, right?
Oh,
yeah, best ever. Go.
People train to beat him.
Definitely.
They came for him. And if people hadn't tried to push him so hard, maybe it wouldn't have kept him as motivated. You need people coming for you. Like Liverpool won't create a dynasty if nobody comes for them. Because what's the point when you just sit back and get fat, and you'll be like the first king in Game of Thrones. The big belly. That's what you'll become. You become fat, you become bloated and drunk, and you won't become great. You need to be pushed. So don't take it. Why?
And then also, it turns the leagues into the Bundesliga. It turns it into the Serie A. It turns it into the French league, and everyone loves the fact that the Premier League's so competitive. But then you're like, oh no, teams can't come and get us. You're fam. If you want to keep the league as the best in the world, challenge, take every challenge. Call on all challengers, fam, and mash them up if you're bad.
I fully understand what you're saying in terms of, the Bundesliga, people diss the French league, the Spanish league for being two horse races. Terry will know what I'm about to say here. But if the Premier League was like that and it was United winning every year, I couldn't give two fucks. I don't care about all that. I just want to see United win trophies. I don't care. It's great having rivalries and the Premier League being the best in the world and all those type of things. I just want to see United be successful. I don't care how. Whatever. Let's just see United win trophies. Let's get back to winning ways. And if that means from 2021 to 2031, United won it every year by 20 points, I'd be out celebrating every single year.
Yeah, but wouldn't it not get boring? Obviously winning's great in that, but would it not be like it wouldn't be the same though if you didn't have a challenge? Like some of the best achievements that you achieve isn't because you got it because it's easy. You got it because it was hard. You got it because it was a challenge. And that's what I mean. Like, I want United to dominate, but I want United to dominate with challenges, fam. So I can be like, yo, that was your best team in 30 years, and we still slapped you, man, down. Yeah. Shut up.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm
saying. I let my man go. Go on, man.
And the reason why I gas Liverpool, I mean it. I mean Liverpool are brilliant. My point is this: I want to come for you because if you're now telling us you're the best ever, when we topple you. We are king of kings of kings. We own you. You can't, if you're the best ever, you're the best around, and we catch you, that's it. That's peak. Do you get what I mean? If I'm a boxer and a guy I'm fighting, and him and all these fans say he's the greatest ever, and I spark his plugs, where does that elevate me to? I've seen Tyson Fury interviews talking about how amazing Wilder is. Why is he doing that? Because if he talks up Wilder and all Tyson Fury's fans talk up Wilder like he's the best around, and all Wilder's fans get gassed. Oh, yeah, he is. And then he beats him for the second official time and for the third real time. It cements your legacy. If you go around, if Man United fans spend the next 2 years going, this Liverpool team are trash, really. They're trash, really. They're trash, really. And then we topple them to a title. What does that say about us? We're basically on the top of a pile of shit. Why would you want that?
You know what? When you think about
them, that's a league.
When you think about the Prem and the competitiveness of it compared to the rest of the leagues in Europe, United has always been that team to prove how competitive the league is. When Arsenal had their growth spurt in the early 2000s, United would want to topple them. When Chelsea came with all that money from Russia, United were the one that toppled him. Initially, United were the one that took over from Liverpool as well. So Manchester United has always been that team to show that the league is very competitive. So, and we've always been, you remember that three-peat? What was it? 9, 8, what was it? 2008,
2001.
Yeah.
Oh, which one are you talking about? Oh, we've done so many. I can't
We did
remember.
it twice.
Yeah,
I did it twice.
The last one we had. And, during that second time, I remember I was growing up in Jamaica, and I had a bunch of friends who were Arsenal fans, and they, grew up watching Arsenal in the Invincible periods, and they were like, I'm not watching the league anymore. It's just Manchester United. I'm like, well, I tell you what, it's only Manchester United because it's only Manchester United in England. There's no other club in England. They're just following. You see what I'm saying? And for me, when it comes to right now where we are with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm just going to say this. I would not judge him off the substitutions that he makes. My only reservation for him was back when we just started the league, after we walked Chelsea 4-0 and we started losing and drawing those games. We weren't able to break down that low block. And before Pogba got injured, I always said, if Pogba is our only creative player, I need to see Ole Gunnar make some changes, push Pogba further up the field, and have 2 defensive midfielders behind him. If that's because our squad was depleted, we didn't have anyone playing. Well, he kept on playing Lingard and Pereira up front, trying to get them to create something when they couldn't. And had Pogba playing in the deep playing midfield, all he had to do was get McTominay or maybe Fred with Matic in the back and push Pogba up, in my opinion. So that was my, litmus test for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to see if he had any tactical, any sort of tactical.
Sorry, a comment here from Paul. Oh, I'm not sure who I'm getting the echo from there. Kieran, by the way, coming on, bro. Thank you. Well, I'm getting echo from someone. I'm not sure who. I think it's from Bush. I'm not sure why. Suddenly an echo. Ollie is nowhere near Pep and Klopp are. Ollie is so far from winning the league at 100 points. Listen, we don't need to get 100 points to win the league. Nope. You need to be top of the league. So that's great. And again, and this is why it's amazing, if Ollie does topple them and wins the league, do you know how embarrassing, because you're playing Ollie down so much, it's even more embarrassing for you. It's why I want Ollie to do it. If you say Ollie's a PE teacher and then he wins the league over your man, what does that say about your coach? If I'm fighting a guy in a ring and I say he's a bum, he's a cream puff, he can't punch. It's why Deontay Wilder looked so dumb when he got knocked out, because he was like pillow gloves, pillow hands, and then he got battered around the ring by the Gypsy King. He looked stupid. When you big yourself, and that's it, it's cool. Say all these things about Ollie. I don't care. But if he topples you, that either means that he's better than you really thought, so you've got to apologize, or your king is trash. And you don't have to have 100 points. And that'll be the narrative, though, boys. If Man United were to go on and win a league title, what will happen? It'll be, this will be the narrative. It don't really count because you didn't get as many points as the last time we won it. Trust me. Remember at this moment, they'll say it'd be like, oh no, it doesn't really count. You should have an asterisk because unless you beat our points total, it doesn't really count. You're not really champions. That's what they will say. Trust me. It's not all Liverpool fans, lots of great ones, but that's what these types here, like Paul Jr. Will say. Paul Jr., you're a great guy. Thank you. Thank you for becoming an official member there. Listen, boys, I appreciate you all tuning in. I love this. By the way, Liverpool fans, I'm only messing, man. I'm only messing with you. Like
I'm not. We're coming for you. We just hope that they better hope they're still as good as they say they are right now when we get there.
It's like Liam Neeson. It's like Liam Neeson. I know where you are.
I've acquired a set of skills over many years. Bring your dads, bring your uncles. We're coming for you, bro. This is proper. This is old school council estate level. We're coming, man. We're coming.
Council estate level.
Up,
I love that.
Trust
I
me.
love that.
I remember getting marched to fights by dads and older brothers and all the friends. Everyone's behind you. You're like, I don't really want to fight. You're fighting. All right, okay, I'm going to fight. Jesus Christ. Win some, you lose some. If you lose, you ain't coming home. All right, Jesus Christ. Thanks, Dad. But listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Everyone, take care of yourselves. God bless. Good night. Well done, Man United. Well done, Ollie. Liverpool, we're coming for you.